Launching a new course, product, or service in your business can feel exciting and a little intimidating. But what's always helped me is seeing the real numbers and real results from other online business owners who are in the trenches, getting it done, and inspiring others to do the same. My most recent course launch did $61,000 in sales in just 10 days. And today I'm going behind the scenes to share a complete breakdown of the entire launch, including what worked, what didn't, and what I learned along the way. I love seeing behind the scenes of other people's businesses, and it was videos just like this one that once inspired me to do my first launch. I'm going to be sharing all my numbers, so grab a pen, some paper, because this launch debrief is packed with valuable insights and lessons that you won't want to miss. My name is Maylea, and I grew my online business from scratch to consistent 20K months in just 90 days. Today, I run a global brand that's done over 7 figures in sales, and I'm here to give entrepreneurs like you the blueprint to start, grow, and automate your online business so you can build a profitable personal brand that works for you 24/7 and you don't have to. If you're new here, be sure and hit that subscribe button. I put out brand new videos on this channel every single week, and I don't want you to miss the next free training I release. One thing I've learned is that everyone defines the word launch a little differently. So let me give you my definition so we start this thing off on the right page. In my world, a launch is a live promotion of a digital product or service with 3 distinct areas: a pre-launch, a hype event, and an open cart period. I've released a lot of digital products over the years, and I actually didn't do my first launch until over a year after starting my business and generating over $300,000 in sales. In fact, I don't even recommend starting your business with a launch because most people don't have a big enough audience when they're first starting out to make enough money from the launch to sustain yourself and your business between launches. Instead, if you're brand new, I recommend using an automated funnel that's set up on an evergreen marketing system, meaning people can buy it at any time, and then you can start making sales right away as you grow your audience instead of working for months to prep for a launch that might flop before you start generating revenue. If you want to learn more about how I started my business without launching, check out this video. Now that we have that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into the launch debrief. This recent launch was for my signature program, Laptop Lifestyle Academy, and it was actually the 3rd time that I launched this program. I released it on an evergreen funnel in August of 2021, got some sales, and worked out the bottlenecks in my funnel, and then did my first live launch in October 21 that generated $14,000 in sales. After that, it went back on evergreen until April of 2022, where I did a second live launch that did $33,000 in sales. And this most recent one did just over $60,000. You may be noticing a trend here, and this is my first tip. Most people think the secret to having a bigger launch is to create a new product, when in reality, the best way to have a bigger launch is to repeat it over and over and over again, looking at your analytics and making tweaks to improve it along the way. I'm breaking down everything I did to get those $60,000 in sales and sharing what worked and what didn't along the way, so let's get into it. I set 3 goals for this launch: a benchmark goal, a target goal, and a hairy scary goal. My hairy scary goal was $40,000 in sales, so the fact that we completely blew that out of the water was the biggest win. I used numbers from my last 2 launches to set these goals, and I worked off a target goal of 7% conversion rate. What I mean by that is that my goal was for 7% of the people who registered for the hype event to enroll in the program. My last launch converted at 6%, so this seemed like a good stretch goal. In order to hit my target goal, I needed 600 people to register for the hype event. I ended up only getting 513 people registered, but we converted at 9.9%. which again blew that initial goal out of the water and accounts for how we were able to hit that hairy, scary goal. I'm not really a numbers person, so let me repeat that just in case you aren't either. To hit my target goal, I needed to have 600 people sign up for the hype event and have 7% of them purchase the program for a total of 42 new customers. Instead, I had 513 people sign up for the event, converted at 9.9%, and enrolled 51 new customers. So let's talk about how we got there. Before we get into the pre-launch, I want to talk about the pre-launch, okay? My goal with this launch was to kick off the pre-launch phase on December 30th. More on that in just a minute. December is a historically slow month for my business with the holidays, so I knew if I wanted my pre-launch to start off strong, I needed to do some things in December to keep people warmed up and engaged. I had 2 goals: to warm up my free value Facebook group and get it super engaged, and to get my email list super tuned in and anticipating what was coming. This was not an easy thing to do in the middle of the holidays when most people are completely checked out of their business, but I found a way to make it work, and here's what I did. In preparing for the pre-launch, I knew I needed to meet people where they were at and talk about things that they were already thinking and talking about, which is planning for the new year. In December, everyone in the entrepreneurial world is talking goals and plans for the upcoming year, so I rode that bandwagon and decided to host a free goal-setting series inside my free Facebook group, which has about 10,000 members in it. The series consisted of 3 Facebook Lives, which I ran inside my free Facebook group the last week of December, and promoted it to my email list and on social media in the 10 days leading up to it. The call to action on the last day was to sign up for my rejection-free selling workshop, which was the hype event for my launch. Again, more on that in a minute. Once the goal-setting series was over, it was time to move into the 21-day launch strategy I had prepared. Days 1 to 11 were the pre-launch phase, days 12 to 14 were the hype event, and days 15 to 21 were the open cart period. During the 11 days of the pre-launch, the entire goal was to fill up registrations for the hype event, which was the rejection-free selling workshop. I did this in 3 ways: through email marketing to my current list, organic social media posts, and ads. I sent out 7 promotional emails to my list, did a mix of daily value and promotional posts in my free value Facebook group, encouraging current members to register, daily posts on Instagram and TikTok, just giving value like normal with the workshop link in my bio as the call to action, and I ran $338 in ads to my warm audience on social media, encouraging them to register for the workshop. Altogether, this resulted in 513 people who registered for my free workshop during those 11 days. I also offered a VIP upgrade option for the workshop that I sold for $17. 43 people took me up on that offer, which resulted in $731 in sales. My entire goal was to cover the cost of my advertising with the VIP, so the fact that I spent $338 on ads and made $731 from VIP sales was a big win. The next phase of the launch was the hype event, which was the free 3-day workshop that I hosted in my free Facebook group. Every day consisted of a 1-hour training live in the group and a short homework assignment. We did giveaways to encourage live attendance and engagement during the trainings. There was a wait list that people could join to get early access to Laptop Lifestyle Academy, which resulted in a few sales on day 2 of the workshop, and then the cart officially opened on day 3. For this launch, LLA was priced at $997 with an option to do a 12-month payment plan for $97 a month. This was the first time doing a 12-month payment plan, and it definitely paid off because a lot of people ended up taking me up on that offer. I'll break down all the numbers in detail at the end of the video, but by the end of the day 3 workshop, we had welcomed 24 new students into the program. Once the workshop was over, the launch officially moved into the open cart phase, which ran for 7 days. During that 7-day period, it was a full-out sprint to continue to show up giving value in the group and selling the offer. I had a fast start bonus for people who enrolled on the first day, an early bird bonus bundle that expired halfway through the open cart period, and a collection of other bonuses that were good until the cart closed for good on day 7. Every day during the open cart period, I either went live in the group for a Q&A call, live coaching, or a testimonial style interview with current Laptop Lifestyle Academy students. I also sent out 11 promotional emails to my list during that 7 days as well, and by the time the cart closed at the end of the launch, we had welcomed 51 new students, 42 on the 12-month payment plan, 8 pay in full, and 1 person who did the VIP package, which included 3 one-on-one coaching calls with me. This resulted in $61,829 in sales, $12,964 of which was collected up front. That was a lot of numbers, but that's it. That's the full debrief. So let's get into what worked, what didn't, and what I will do different the next time around. First of all, I like to talk about what worked. This was my second time doing this 3-day workshop as the hype event for the launch, and it definitely works. I was shocked at how much easier it was to pull this launch together with so much of the work already being done from last time. And I was also able to reuse a lot of the email and ad content, which made promotion go a lot easier. I was out of town for the first 8 days of the pre-launch period at Walt Disney World with my family. And I was only online about 5 to 10 minutes a day, which meant most of that pre-launch content had to be done in advance. That deadline really pushed me to work ahead, which made the actual launch feel so much less stressful. Something new that I added for this launch was a live webinar halfway through the open cart period that was a bit of a recap from the workshop with a little bit of new training as well. This resulted in a big influx of sales right in the middle of the open cart period, which is usually the slowest time for sales, so I will definitely be doing that again in the next launch. Also, I loved using the disappearing bonuses throughout the open cart period to encourage people to join before the final deadline. We still had a huge rush of enrollments on the last day, but the disappearing bonuses kept sales rolling in daily, which is really fun. Finally, I already mentioned this, but the 12-month payment plan was a huge win. On a personal level, I really love having the monthly recurring income coming in between launches, and I love that it allowed so many people to jump in who might not have otherwise had the budget to do so. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows though, so let's talk about what did not work. For one thing, I came home from my trip with COVID 3 days before the workshop was scheduled to start. I felt okay for the first couple of days of the workshop, but by day 3 I was running 102 fever, super achy, low energy. I pretty much had no voice. Looking back, I'm glad I didn't postpone the launch until I was well, just because I would have lost some momentum, but it definitely added a surprise element to the entire thing that made what was otherwise a pretty smooth launch feel pretty rough. The day after the workshop, I planned to dive right into the coaching and Q&A calls in the group, but I ended up just staying in bed for like a full 24 hours, and it was definitely worth it. The first time I did this launch, it felt stressful and hectic all the way through. But this time it went so much more smoothly, and I was able to add in a lot of extra promotional pieces like the live calls and the webinar that I didn't have time to do the first time. By the end of the open cart period, I was pretty much running on empty, but I think that was more due to the fact that I was sick from COVID versus from the launch itself. Even so, I'm even more excited to do this promotion for a third time next year because even more things can be planned in advance. As for what I will do different next time, first and foremost, I'm going to do my best not to get COVID in the middle of my next launch, but other than that, I'm also going to double down and spend a lot more on ads. I had a 15 times return on ad spend from the money I did spend, and that tells me I should have doubled down and spent even more. The other big change that I'll be making is the price. Despite the results our clients have been able to achieve inside Laptop Lifestyle Academy, I've never raised the price. And when I open up enrollment again for the next time, the price will definitely be higher, which is going to give me space to bring in more coaches to help inside the program and give even more support to our students. So there you have it, the complete breakdown of exactly what I did to do $61,000 in sales in 10 days. For a quick recap, I spent the month before the launch really warming up my audience and getting them super engaged so they'd be ready when the launch started. The entire launch campaign lasted 21 days, 11 days of pre-launch, a 3-day hype event, and a 7-day open cart period. We used a waitlist, disappearing bonuses, a mid-cart webinar, and special payment plan options to boost sales throughout the entire launch, all things I will absolutely be doing again. I also got COVID during the launch, which hopefully won't be repeated, and all in all, the launch was a massive success. I even blew my hairy scary goal out of the water, which was a huge win. The biggest one of all, though, is all the wins that my clients are now having as they go through the program, which has me even more fired up about launching this program again next year. One of the first things we teach our students inside Laptop Lifestyle Academy is a system for getting crystal clear around your niche and knowing exactly who you help and how you help them as it relates to what you sell. Without a doubt, this is the place I found most entrepreneurs get stuck, which is so sad because without this, you can't even really get off the starting line. And since LLA is currently closed for enrollment, I put together a free guide called my Unique Profitable Niche Framework. Inside, I break down the exact process I share with my Laptop Lifestyle Academy students to help you clarify your niche so you can start attracting an audience of buyers and converting sales on social media. You can grab it free at globalfreedomcommunity.com/niche, and I'll link it below for you as well. All right, that's all I got for today. I've asked YouTube to recommend the best next video for you, which you can watch right here. Just don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you go, so you'll be notified the next time I release a new video on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.